Hey, good morning. Welcome. It is Wednesday, better known as Hump Day, and that means we are 2 days away from community building training. Free training on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Join me every Friday. It's free. You'll love it. This one's building a community. Nothing better than doing. Good morning, Brooke and Colleen, Samir, Kate, thank you. Carrie, welcome. Thank you. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know if you're joining me Friday. We're going to pin up there the information. My text number is 949-298-2905. My email is david@dmeltzer.com. And we're going to pin it up there for you. Welcome, everybody. Looking in here. Good morning. Let's get the questions rolling. All right. We're going to have a good day here today. Got a lot of time for questions. See if someone wants to go live with me. Perfect. Thank you. What's the difference between responsibility and accountability? That's a really great question. So responsibility is just as it sounds, right? What is our ability to respond, right? How do we respond to things? Accountability is much bigger. Accountability is, what did I do to attract this to myself, and what am I supposed to learn from it? So responsibility is, you hit somebody into the back, you're responsible, but the person that gets hit in the back is accountable. They're asking themselves, what did I do to get hit in the back, and what am I supposed to learn from it? And how they respond is their responsibility. Very, very clean distinction between the two. Let's get it back up here. What are some ways I can track my growth of KPIs of my life? So take inventory of your values to learn what your KPIs of your life are, and then prioritize those KPIs or those values, and then pick 1, 2, or 3 of them in order to track, and then be able to utilize those for the stable data that they provide, where you start seeing patterns, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious patterns that can change your life. Can you explain the depth of coincidences? Coincidences are a mathematical occurrence when two things in our lives coincide perfectly at the right way at the perfect time. That's a coincidence. Other people define it as luck. I believe that if you pay attention to something, that means focus in on it and give it intention, which means make it what you think, say, do, believe, and even look at the personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions that you have for it. Aggregate all of those. The coincidences that you want will happen. And we'll go through that. Thank you for all these questions. What's the best way to raise capital for a very credible business? Well, if it's a very credible business, then 1, it should pass the credibility test. There should be no void, shortages, and obstacles or suck holes of where people will find scrutiny and skepticism within the context of your business. So 2, move to the emotional attachment. People bound emotion for logical reasons. Then 3, be able to articulate and display quantitative value so that you can come and others can come to a conclusion. Can you see any reason you want to move forward? So you need to quantify the reasons they'll do it, the impacts it has, as well as the capabilities that you have using features, benefits in order to prove the credibility, the emotional attachment, quantified reasons, impacts, and capabilities. What would you recommend a teenager does to make money? Buy, sell, low, high, get mentorship, learn as an apprentice. Those people that sit in the situation of making a lot of money, go ahead and use your best asset, your capabilities, your skills, your knowledge, and your desire to do things that other people that may be older can't physically do or don't want to do. So I know guys that have made millions of dollars, just by saving the majority of their money from catting to lawn service to roof services to babysitting, all types of different things. How do you know how much financial risk to take on a first business venture? It depends on your timing and your risk tolerance, right? That's all that it is. If you're not looking at timing and risk tolerance in any time that you raise money or make an investment, you're missing the boat. Timing and risk tolerance are the 2 things that determine what you should raise or what you should invest. In looking at all your resources and your capabilities, your skills, your knowledge, and your desire aligning with your values, personal, experiential, giving, and receiving values, you can effectuate that. Yes, my son is 11. He is already learning the art of making money. Mine too. Exactly. He's 10. Trevor Moad, my man, how are you? Welcome, my brother from another. How do you convince others to think your ideas are good ideas? How do you get others to see the way you see when it makes complete sense to you? Well, first of all, you can't ever do that with everyone. So you need to find the people that are aligned with your personal experiential giving and receiving values, that see what you have is credible and emotionally attached to it, and believe the quantification of those reasons, impacts, and capabilities. There'll be more people that'll laugh at you, scoff at you, make fun of you, and it's just easier to tell you can't do it than to support you when you can, right? It's much easier. If I tell you you can do it, then I have to put in the work with you, and you can become an investment in myself. So find the people at the same frequency, Kate. Yes, exactly. Let's see. Someone wants to go live. Let me know. Anyone wants to go live with me? Love you to have you on here. We'll just Should you always pay employees better than yourself in the beginning? No, it depends on the business. So, depends on who's bringing in revenue and who you want to motivate. Hey, how are you?
How's it going, Dave?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to pop in and say I love watching your videos. I love your motivation. I love your positivity. And I'm kind of, finding my way in life, and I try to bring up people the same way. I try to learn from my elders as well. So that's why I always try to tune in when you're on here.
You're amazing, man. Do you have any questions I can help you with while I got you?
Let's see. That's a good question. What is the best way to maintain a healthy mind, through the peaks and valleys of life?
Great. So mindset is absolutely a practice. And we saw Trevor Moad down here, and he's one of the mentors of mine to understand how do we utilize the inner size of the brain to create a mindset that will find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything that we do. So one of the key things that I use is, one, I tell myself it is a practice. And so I know, it's just like golf. I got to go to the range every single day. I got to practice putting, chipping, all the different areas of the mindset every day, just like golf, in order to get better at it. But at its core, some of the key components are, one, pain, which puts us into an accelerated direction in the wrong direction that creates interferences, voids, and shortages. Pain, if we can define it as an indicator, right? An indicator that we have a lesson to find the light, the love, and the lessons. If we can use pain as an indicator to move in a better direction or to make our situation better, that's a huge component of mindset. And I also believe, as you know, being a ferocious Buddha, so in a mindset when I am and can recognize that I am in the ego-based consciousness, some of the ego-based consciousnesses are the need to be right, the need to be offended, guilty, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry. When I feel through this thermostat of my life, the way I feel, if I don't feel good, then I'm a ferocious Buddha. I stop. I use all my free will to stop. Then I drop like a Buddha down to center, down to neutral, and I breathe, and I allow my awareness to tell me, okay, where do I want to go? What direction do I want to go? What's my objective according to my values, personal, experiential, giving, and receiving, which is why it's so important to take those inventory every day. Then I'm ferocious about moving in the right direction. So when you see the positivity that I have, the productivity that I have, the accessibility, and most important, the gratitude that I have, the ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons, to learn to love the parts of everything that I do, the activity I get paid for, the activity I don't get paid for, to find the light, the love, and lessons in the portion that most people can't. That's what creates abundance. That's what creates happiness. That's what allows me to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. And you can do the same thing if you practice. If you forget to practice, go watch Allen Iverson's little, tirade about practice. Yes, practice, practice, practice. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I love it, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being so, easy access right now in these crazy times, because, this is what it's all about. And this downtime that we have is, connecting with everybody, and I appreciate it.
It makes my day, man. Remember, join me on Fridays. I do a free training. Invite your friends, family, associates. The number's below, 949-298-2905, or email me directly, david@dmeltzer.com. It's all free, okay?
Oh, thank you so much, Dave.
You got it, brother. Take care. Thanks. Join me again. Thanks, Kevin.
For sure. Have a
awesome. Uh, anyway, back on track. Let's get some questions going, loading up on there. What is the most effective way to raise capital for a credible established business? Ask and attract. So, utilize that credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, create and be able to articulate value and then communicate that value. Ask people, do you know anyone that can help me? Do you know anyone that can help me in person, on the phone, email, even media, radio, print, TV, social media? All of those are great channels in which to effectuate raising money for charity or companies. You all can do it. You can get funded, no problem. Here we go. What kind of impact did building your personal brand have on your business? Exponential, right? Building a community has had the greatest impact on my business than anything else. Being able to, create a stronger signal to a bigger spectrum with a clearer message. People know who and what my frequency is, and it provides an attraction to those of like mind and larger and bigger and better opportunities. Michael, how do you know when it's time to fire your friends, family from your startup company or from your life? Look, if your values aren't aligned, right? If they're bleeding you, friends, family, employees, if they're bleeding you, fire them, right? And there's a variety of ways of firing them. You don't have to, make it a conflictual thing. You can allow them to know that, hey, our values are not aligned. This is about me. I need people around me that are going to feed me, my company, my business, emotionally, physically, spiritually, or financially, and you're not feeding me. And it's just not a good fit. And you can pray for their happiness. You can, maintain a relationship or fire them completely. Determinative upon what your objective is in that relationship. But absolutely take inventory of your friends, family, and associates and clean it out as much as you can. Do you believe in the law of attraction? Yeah, I do believe in the law of attraction. It starts with the law of Goya. The law of Goya means get off your ass. And at a conscious level, the more that we practice things consistently, persistently in the pursuit of our potential, it then creates one of the 40,000 of the same thoughts in our subconscious, which then activates through the epigenetic layer of our DNA, our own quantum memory. It activates our own being, our own personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. And that's what sends our frequency. We'll talk about how this frequency builds a community this Friday at my training, but that frequency is what creates the law of attraction. And that's what attracts and creates that clearance of what we're already connected to, the abundance of everything for everyone. And love to teach that great value in what we do and how we do it. How to deal with a young employee who can constantly makes excuses without going ballistic on them. Well, first of all, the fact that you would say going ballistic means that you probably have a need to be offended. I've had employees, look at them wrong and they would say you went ballistic, right? And if you tried to perturbate them or raise your voice to make a point or to make it so everybody else in the office hears, it's a matter of, your own perception. So number one, if you want, let me pull that back up. If you want to, teach somebody not to not go below the line, sometimes you're probably going to have them be perturbated, right? You're going to have to agitate them a little bit. And, there's no other way. And if they can't take it, then they can leave. Fire fast. Like I said, fire people fast. It's like if they're not aligned with your values, if all you teach is gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication, and the person's not accountable and they're going below the line with excuses and they're not going to learn the lesson and it's again and again and again, instead of, banging your head against the wall, tell them, hey, this isn't the right place for you. Come back when you learn accountability or something else. So just remember, you can't control the way other people feel. When literally, if you look at somebody and they feel happy or sad, that's the way they perceive you. There's the resting bee face of people. And I've met people and I'm like, why are you so, upset or mean or mad? Well, they weren't. That's just the way they looked. So you are a projector. You're projecting your insecurities on other people. You're not, your lenses don't see anything. It's just an illusion. You give meaning to everything you see. And so give it the meaning that you want. How do I get the attention of potential mentors? Well, first of all, do the research. The biggest fallacy that I see in mentorship is most people don't do the research to find people that are sitting in the situation that they want to be in. They don't do and know the what that they need, and then they can't find the who that has it, and then they're too afraid to ask the who for the what that they want or to teach them how to get the what. It's that easy. But most people aren't willing to do the work, right? 87% of the people absolutely will not do the work, do not even start and initiate the law of Goya. You got to be within the context of all the way through the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, the law of Goya, all the way through the law of attraction. There's just the 1% of the 1%. What's your biggest pet peeve for sales calls? My biggest pet peeve for sales calls, people don't make them. They lie, right? People lie. And so they sit there, and if you actually look at the numbers, they don't make them. The second one is 80% of all calls are messages, and people never practice leaving a message. They try to sell on a message. They try to explain on a message. They lose the sale before they even stimulate interest. If they realize that 80% of all calls that you make are leaving messages, you would practice leaving a message. Same reason people don't practice sleep, right? A third of your life is sleeping, and yet hardly anybody practices sleep. The same thing with salespeople. Hardly anybody practices leaving messages. Meanwhile, there's only one objective of leaving a message, and that is to get somebody to call you back. Hey, welcome, Jake. Good to have you back. All right. I'd love to see you. Here we go. I hesitate to ask my boss for help because he's always busy. Any good ways I can go about it? Yeah. First of all, that's the lamest excuse ever, right? People aren't busy, right? They aren't busy. They literally, there's activity they get paid for, activity they don't get paid for. They're either accessible. Most of the time when people say, oh, it's because someone's too busy, they haven't even asked. For me, I have a very active calendar. I study it to make sure it's extremely active, productive, accessible, and gracious. And I never say no to anyone that wants to get 5 minutes in my calendar. And yet I have had many employees tell me, oh, yeah, I didn't call you because, you were too busy. Oh, I didn't want to bother you. Okay, so then once again, you're a projector, right? You're a projector. You're giving meaning to everything you see. Because in the history of all the businesses I've had, I've never said no to an employee who said, can I have a few minutes? Most of the time I do it now, because that's one of the 5 things that I teach. So most of the time I say, yeah, let's do it now. Sit down and, and if somebody wants to visit with me, then they can tell me that too. And we can make a plan outside of the activity I get paid for and to visit, right? I don't mind visiting and mentoring and teaching. So don't be lame and don't come up with those excuses. These are really good. I tried to meet a mentor on my country. Rich people don't help. All right, go to another country. If you truly, you give meaning to everything you see, go to another country. The nice thing about today is, 10 years ago, your spectrum was the size of your neighborhood, basically, or your card game or your golf game or whatever else it may be. Now you're not even limited by a country. There's 4.4 billion people in your reach. People mentor all the time online via video, podcasts, books, etc. Most of my mentors are dead. One of my greatest mentors is Einstein, dead. Dr. Wayne Dyer, dead. Napoleon Hill, dead. Those are 3 of the mentors that I study every single day. People that sit in the situation that I want to be in. They have what I want, and I'm asking for it. And guess what? It's free. I'm asking for what I want, and it's free. Is launching a brand during a quarantine a crazy idea? No, it's a great idea. Come to my training on Friday. Text me right now, 949-298-2905, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Free training. I will tell you, without a doubt, this is the best time to launch a business or a brand and build a community. No better time ever in history. What social media is the best way to market all, determined upon what the audience or community you're trying to reach. So do your research, be more interested than interesting, find out what community statistically is most in the platform that you want, and then utilize your resources to distribute that content by capturing the correct content that applies to those people, modifying it so it applies to those people, amplifying it to those applicable people, and perpetuate it to them to monetize it or accelerate it or expand it, whatever your objectives are to utilize that quality content. Keep on practicing so that content gets better. This is a perfect time to build a foundation in anything you're hoping to accomplish every single day. Absolutely. Thank you, Colleen. Good point. All right, let me see here. How do you keep your goals and dreams come true when your parents don't support you or don't? Look, don't vote for what other people want. Don't do it. If you're relying on other people for your dreams, you're in big trouble because other people can't dream for you. They can only look and see what's been done before and try to encourage or inspire or motivate you to do the ordinary. But you contain unbelievable thoughts. You contain the connectivity to the greatest source of power, light, and love. Dream for yourself. Vote for what you want. Don't worry about people laughing at you, scoffing at you, telling you can't do something. If everybody listened to that, nothing would get done. We would not expand, accelerate, or grow. Stop it. Look, take it like a handful of sand. See exactly people that sit in the situation. Take it like a handful of sand and then think bigger and think better. Think big, dream bigger. Other people can't dream for you. There's no way you'll be in spirit with that. Your dreams are part of your flow, not theirs, right? If people ask me or tell me what their dreams are for me, I'll ask why. Oh, I just want you to be secure. Yeah, I never had that for myself. No. Vote for what you want. You'll elect it into your life. Dream big. Dream beyond what anyone else has dreamed. I guarantee you will and can utilize that to be successful. How to become a millionaire with $0. Look, the easiest way to become a millionaire with $0 is to put in the sweat equity, meaning go find a profession, like an MLM, one of my favorite ones, financial services industry, something that you need no education, no money. All you need is grit and the ability to ask for help and ask other people if they know anyone to help you and ask how you can be of service or value. Find a great product. I use that Elevate product, WFG in the financial world with Marshall Falk. You can reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll introduce you into some ones that I love, but there's tons out there. Find something that you love and then go out there and build a business with $0. Millions, literally. Utilizing, the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, asking and attracting, inventory your values. You already have businesses that are set up for people that just want to grind, that just want to make money. Somebody here said flip stuff. Absolutely. You if you have zero money, you have to have it pre-sold. But that's, if you spend all day looking to see what sells and then going and searching, knowing that it sells at that price, you'll find it. The internet's a fabulous thing. There's so many different platforms, so many people that you can reach, 4.4 billion people that possibly are selling or buying. You can go ahead and flip stuff, buy low, sell high, look for things that are oversold and find things that are overbought. How would you advise the 25-year-old self, me? For me, I would advise me to be radically humble. The number one thing that I didn't do was ask for help. So I would tell my 25-year-old self, hey, dummy, be humble. Be humble. You don't know what you don't know. Probably the most common thing within running organizations for the last 35 years is people don't know what they don't know. They think they know, but it takes years and years to understand that. I've had just ludicrous things said to me. I'm sitting there going, wait a second, you're frustrated and anxious and upset, and you don't even know what you're talking about. You have no clue what you're talking about. Like basic stuff. I've had business people not know the difference between gross and net, right? And yet they will go on and on and on and create all this resistance, voids and shortages and anxiety and frustration. And yet they don't even know what they're talking about. So be radically humble, ask for help. Find someone that sits in the situation that you want to be in and go to them and ask for help. Just say, do you know someone that can help me? I'm looking to understand this. I'm looking to do this, whatever it may be. How do you get out of the can I really achieve this mindset? Beautiful. So that's a void shortage and an obstacle, right? That's called doubt. A need to be separate, inferior. The only way to get out of the can I really achieve this mindset is to start enjoying, finding the light, the love, and the lessons in the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of whatever it is that you want to do. And you have to just stick to it. If you have to lower the bar so you can do it every day, lower the bar. 2 minutes a day is worth more than 2 hours on a Saturday. This stuff is easy. Just stick to it. 25% of people quit. 99% of the people quit at 25% of the way there. Of the 1% that continue on, it takes half as much time to get to 50% of the way there. And only 1% of that 99% continue on to 100%, which only takes half as much time. And then 200, 400, 800, 1600. All of those things. Awesome. Hey, give me your money. That's great, man. Then that would make you somebody that just needed people to give me your money. You weren't happy to empower you. Come to training on Fridays. They're free. Be one of the 1% of the 1% that I can empower so that instead of giving you the fish, I will teach you the fish for a lifetime. I have made many millionaires. I teach them where the margins of millionaires are. I teach people to smile through struggle. And most importantly, I empower people to empower other people to be happy. Happiness is the most powerful thing. It will increase your emotional, spiritual, financial ability. Guaranteed. Also protect you. It will strengthen your immune system. So you will stay healthy, happy, and wealthy. I love that, man. I know you're joking. Here you go. All right, let's see here. Any book recommendations for a young entrepreneur? Yes. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. Start there with those two. Atomic Habits is another one good. Oh my goodness, my dear friend, the Panda. I'm the ferocious Buddha. And now we got David Chen, the Panda. My esport in part. Oh my goodness, with the pink cup.
Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
Good. It's great seeing you again.
I know. You're one of the last people I got to see before they locked everything down.
I know it was a blessing because I think 2 days later everything was locked down, so we got real lucky.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And so, since that time that I saw you, I know you're working in a variety of different industries. You are definitely a resilient entrepreneur, finding, the smile thing through struggles, finding the light, the love, and the lessons when other people, are falling into the victim category of, why me? And you see the difference. There's a key distinction between three people: resilient people like David Chen, stable people, we won't mention names, that just want to get through this. They just want to survive. And then the worst are the why me people, right? The victims, the not enough people, and they'll never have enough. And I can't help those people, but I really love working with resilient people like you that are looking for opportunities. What are some of the opportunities that you're finding right now are creating great abundance for you?
There's a couple of opportunities. I think the main one is the love and the ability to motivate and help others. I mean, it's a dark time. It's very difficult for a lot of people. This is so new. There's no understanding of how to fix things. And for me, it's really important that you have self-love and self-preservation understanding. So mentoring and helping and being part of the group, giving out abundance to me is extremely important, and that type of love. And I think if you can't help and fix yourself, like we've talked about, there's nothing you can do. It won't matter at the end of the day, because no matter how much money you make, you're just not happy, right? Happiness is just self-love and everything that you can fix. The other thing I think on a business side is, we're doing a variety of things, different opportunities in business and sports. Obviously, esports is a big deal. We made our announcement of you joining our advisory board for NACL, North American Collegiate League, me being able to join Media Abundance. That's super happy. Growing the sports and esports world, I think, is something that we're really excited about. Media, those type of things are really growing out globally, and that's something that we're doing together and impactfully helping other people. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, well, speaking of happy too, one of the things, people create their own resistance, right? I've been talking this morning about a variety of perceptions, especially that young people have, that their boss is mean, or their boss is intimidating, or their boss is busy, or their boss is whatever. And you keep seeing it on these notes and these questions. And all I keep thinking of is guys like you that have opened up their ability to be accessible. And yet most people, if you ask them what their biggest regret is, including me, you know, when they say, what would you tell your 25-year-old self? It would be ask for help. You're so super successful. Tell everybody how available you are to mentor people and to help people, and what your perspective is when a young entrepreneur or someone who wants to sit in the situation that you are in comes to you and asks you for help. Share how you feel and what you do so more people feel comfortable doing it.
It's a funny thing. I mean, in this world, I feel like you have to help others and pay that forward, because if you can change one life, you've made your impact. What's your legacy going to be at the end of the day? There's millions of people who make millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and they don't have a legacy. In fact, their family doesn't even like them, right? Their friends aren't going to be there. You hear about all the time where the only thing that's going to be there is their money, and their money won't come with them. For me, learning, and I know me and you've had very deep discussions about this, because we both had a mind-altering state and change. We didn't allow our past to define us, and we really wanted to be better. And I think for a lot of people is, you know, you just have to access and ask. I mean, it's really that simple. For me, you know, I don't care if you're on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you're 7 or 70, I'll do my best to reach out and talk to every single person, because it matters. We want to help. We want to grow. We want to make things better. If we can make a meaningful impact and help somebody grow, and they can pay it forward, and everyone else does it, we've affected millions of lives and made it better. We can be a better voice. We can be better human beings. We can do it together. We can understand each other. And for me, it doesn't matter if that's in business or in life, you have to do that. You know, a good way to find me obviously is on the Moti app, MOTI app. That's a great download app that we're doing something together with, and I love that. Or, you know, just directly connect to me on Instagram or Twitter. You know, there's also davidchenpanda.com. We you know, where we do those mentor sessions, and we do it for free, right? We do it because we want to help others. And so, you know, I credit that a lot to you, because, you know, being a big fan of yours before we became friends and partners, it helped motivate me as well to shape and shift it the right way and continue to grow that. You know, Mike, our partner Mamula, and David Moreno, great guys have helped us out with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the interesting thing about a lot of the people in our circles, and, you know, whether it be esports or the venture side of what we're doing, or the mentoring side of just creating a collective consciousness, you know, you're definitely one of my 1,000 of, you know, empowering over 1 billion people to simply be happy. But yet, you know, we talk about where we've come from, and there's a lot of young people that are in the positions that we were in. Right? They're sitting in a corporate world. You obviously, you know, with the China service groups at Deloitte, you were working for one of the biggest companies in the world, and I think one of the most stressful and interesting things. What did you take from that experience? And two, would you recommend a young person experiencing that, even if they want to end up in something else?
You know, I want to tell a lot of people, I was one of the youngest managing partners in the world at Deloitte, and I did it in 7 years, and I was fired the first time in 6 months into it. And the difference was my mind shift. You can't play victim. Nobody cares. That's the problem. Nobody cares. And you're playing victim because you need help and mentorship, but you're not doing it in a positive way. You're doing it in a negative way. And the first time I went to Deloitte, and when I got that job, I was fired the first 6 months because I didn't do something as simple as Googling to add value and to improve. And the turning point was when I went back to Deloitte, and I put away my ego, and I wanted to do what I did, and I asked for a 60% pay cut from making a good amount of money to 6% less, because I wanted to prove I had value. I had to really believe in myself. And then I started the China Services Group at Deloitte, Mexico. That was a big difference. You don't need permission to start things or to add value. You just need to understand the circumstances and work within those parameters to add value. No one ever told me to start a China Services Group, and I fulfilled my own destiny after being fired, and 6 years later becoming a partner, and 7 years later becoming a managing partner. And the best feeling about that was the guy who initially said no became one of my best friends. It's not personal, it's business. They want you to succeed, they want you to work, but you have to be mature enough to add value and understand things, or it's just not going to work. And you have to be patient. I mean, I've never told you this, Dave. It took me almost a year to meet you before we met, and we met right before the worst circumstances, and we met when a deal didn't go through. But from that negative, there's always something positive. And I want people to remember that. From a negative, there's always something positive. Can you add value? Can you do it yourself? And my favorite thing is Google it if you don't understand it. It'll be there.
Yeah, I know. I used to send people all the time when they ask me things. I'm like, Google it. Like these two little words. And yesterday I was talking to the CEO of the Professional Bowler Association, and she's a Tulane grad, re-engineering the entire face of bowling and all types of fantastic things with the merger that's happened there. But she said that she got the job because somebody went on maternity leave, and she created, nobody asked her, she created a whole PowerPoint and said, look, here's the reason why I should take this position, why this person's gone, right? And just stepped into it and owned it. What's remarkable about, both of us have managed so many different employees and mentored so many different people through decades now, is that I don't understand why, when you're helping, right? Someone yesterday asked me, like, what do you do, if an employee is being micromanaged? I said, I don't believe that micromanagement is a thing. Like, if I'm your manager, if I'm your mentor in a business, if I'm your boss, right, and I am taking my time to help you, right, to help you, to look at what you're doing, to see how you're doing it, to make you better, you should feel super complimented, because it shows such a lack of situational knowledge. Like, literally, if I hear someone say that they're being micromanaged, I have such little patience right now. I almost just tell them, hey, this isn't a good fit for you. Like,
Right.
because I've just literally, with all of my time, I've focused it on you to make you better. And
Right.
you're now going to blame, shame, and justification
Right.
out of your insecurity.
Right.
You don't fit in here, dude.
Right.
Literally. And that's a
Right.
big shift for me, because I always dance around this, and I'm getting hyper aggressive about helping people and making sure I'm aligned with those values. What about you, when you have to deal with this separation that occurs from being in charge and being the boss, manager, mentor, and the misperceptions and projections of ignorance, young people that just don't know yet. They don't know what they don't know. Just like you didn't know when you got fired, right?
Right.
And I
Right.
get it. I got tons of stories too about what I didn't know. But how do we help them, guide them, so that they don't blow big opportunities by being, in that position or mindset?
No matter what anyone does or who they're with or where they're at, in personal life or business, ego is not your amigo. And every decision and every time you're upset and every time you're frustrated, it's because your ego took place. You're stressed, trying to get a bigger house, trying to get a better home, trying to do things. It's because it's your ego. It has nothing to do with anything besides your ego. And the quicker you recognize it, the better it's going to be. When you recognize that, you're going to realize there's going to be a shift in paradigm in the way you think, that I don't need to do these decisions because my ego. I did it because I really wanted to do it. The second thing is perspective. You're not appreciating the opportunity that someone wants to teach you. I tell my staff all the time, listen, if I'm upset and I don't talk to you, that's when you're pretty much going to be canned. If I keep talking to you, it's going from there. It's because I value you and I want you to grow. It's not a negative thing. When it becomes negative, your perspective is, he's just being mean to me or he's hurting my ego. Guess what? Everyone's ego is hurt. Everyone's been mean to somebody. Everyone's felt bad about something. Everyone's done that. You and I have gone through that. We've both failed multiple times, and we're still trying to succeed and make it work. The reality is, we're all human beings, but if we can do it, they can do it. And I think for the young, because so much instant gratification and we want things bad, hey, I want things bad as much as everyone else does, but I have to really recognize that the universe puts that in perspective when you're ready. And a lot of times when I did a deal and it didn't work, we weren't ready for it. Things didn't work out there. They weren't supposed to be what they were. But if you look at the positive and you maintain an add value relationship, and that's how we became, friends and partners. It was from a deal that didn't work,
Right.
right? And it was a big deal that didn't work, and nobody sat there and back talk and went around anything wrong. You learn the people you want to work with. You have to add value, and more importantly, you have to, again, not let your ego be the distraction to your goals. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, which is why I spend so much time. I mean, this Friday I'm doing one on community, but ego and the ultimate ego is always interplayed with what's going on. And I try, to teach people to have that mindset and the heart set about ego. And it starts with yourself, right? I think our biggest progress and success in our careers weren't the early wins that we had. And we both had pretty big jobs at a very young age, but it actually allowed us to learn and take the lessons in life from the ego that now allows us to, take the greatest values, take our first deal very economically. You talk about a big deal. See, I think that deal was super successful because it allowed us to learn about each other, right? The light and the love and lessons is that it brought our partners all together. And we have, you know, probably 20 opportunities of equal size that are in the pipeline. And like I always say, the good news is when you're with the right people and you have the right capital, you know, there's nothing like that as far as the perception of success, because all it takes is one of the 20 and
That's
everyone
right.
thinks you're a genius.
That's right.
It's so true.
It is. It is.
It's better than baseball. Like if I, you know, you're an all-star if you get 3 hits out of 10 at bats. You're a superstar if you get 1 out of 10.
Absolutely.
Like you're probably a billionaire if you get 1 out of every 10 deals that you're working on.
Right.
If you think big enough and dream big enough. Last question to that matter, right? We've talked about the practical side. We talked about the ego side. I want to talk about the ethereal, the dreaming. Both of you and I have one thing in common. You know, I'm a ferocious Buddha. You're the cuddly panda. But we dream, like we see things, we're, you know, way outside of what other people think. We're not afraid to vote for what we want. And we definitely know that it's just going to be lessons that come from these big dreams. And we share our dreams with our team, and we get you know, a good group together and say, let's go for it. Why is it important to dream that big?
If you don't dream that big, if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? That's just the reality of it. How can you expect anyone else to? If you allow yourself to be filtered and stopped by everybody else, then you're not loving yourself. Listen, nothing was harder than when we left Deloitte and I had to redefine who I was, because a lot of me was Deloitte. A lot of me was that person. But I realized that I was the same human being. I just had to do different scenarios. And I think the biggest aspect, the biggest part is, you know, you define yourself. No one defines you. Not the haters, not the trolls, not the teacher who said I wasn't going to make it, not the vice dean of my college that said I was a waste of time in business, not the first time I got fired at Deloitte or any other times in between. I define me. And it's really easy to be negative. I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's super easy to be negative. It's super easy to hate. It's super easy to be angry. It's super easy to be bitter. It's not easy to overcome those things and be positive and think of a better future. But I call those people energy suckers. They walk in a room and they suck up all the energy and anything that doesn't make you happy, because they want you to live and define in that misery. For us, and now in my life, I see the people I want to work with are people that have the character and the value like yourself, people that I truly believe in line. Of course, we want to make money, but we want to do it right and really help people. And I think that's so significant for everyone, that they have to really understand that. And I think that will help them shape them. You define you. No one defines you. They don't pay your bills. Their opinions don't pay your bills. So who cares? Who cares? Keep doing what you're going to do. The greatest human beings in the world that we think are great, there are people that are still criticizing them. So it doesn't matter. We keep moving forward. And if you don't dream big and set it up, no one else will. And the last thing I want to add on to that is I call it BTC, which is break the cycle. You got to break the cycle. Just because your dad was like that, or your granddad was like that, or your best friend was like that, or situation like that, that doesn't mean you have to be like that. It's not your fault you were born in the situation, but it's going to be completely your fault if you die in that same situation.
Yeah, that's that quantum subconscious to unconscious connection. If you got to look for generations, look for those patterns and make it one of your key priorities and objectives to break that pattern. Just like I'm so into that. The other thing that you said, I got to reiterate is, you know, if it bleeds you, kill it. If it feeds you, feed it. Right? It's that simple. If someone's sucking the soul, you know, literally sucking the energy out of the room, not just with me, with everybody else, I'm gonna kill it. Right? I'm gonna pray for its happiness, and I'm gonna run the other way. And it's okay. There's so many people out there that we can feed each other, utilize the connection that we have of light, love, and lessons. And our connection is strong, even though it's virtual right now. I can't wait to hang out with you again. We are going to guarantee everybody out there listening, David and David right here, we are going to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun for decades to come. And I can't wait, my brother. Thank you for joining me.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. Keep inspiring and changing. Keep making that difference, Dave. Love everything that you're doing. It's so meaningful and impactful, and we're just so blessed to be part of this journey with you. Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Steve. Awesome. Partners, the Panda, David Chen. Check him out. DavidChenThePanda.com, I think. DavidChenPanda.com. Carrie, thank you. That was great, wasn't it? I'm going to take one more question, and then I'm going to get on with my day. I know, Brooke, you enjoyed that as well. What is an underrated trait needed to really separate yourself in the workplace? Hey, happy birthday, Rafi. I think it is your birthday today. I saw 21 years old, Occidental College graduate. You hear that, Moan? You out there, another Oxy Tiger. It's a great day to be a Tiger. Great day to be alive and be a Tiger. Now I just forgot the question that Rafi asked. I'm going to look it back up again. What's an underrated trait really need to separate yourself in the workplace? I will tell you, time. Right? The most underrated is people that are on time. It's the simplest thing to do, to be the first one there and the last one to leave, to be on time. It's simple and it's underrated, but I can't tell you how many opportunities have arisen because people just show up and show up on time. And I think that's one of the easiest, best, simple ways. DavidChenPanda.com. I got that right. Good. All right, everyone. Friday. Training on building a community, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 949-298-2905. It's right below. Look at it, 949-298-2905. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Register for free training. Ask me for any help that you need. Let's make this happen. And most importantly, everyone, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.